There is one question that has echoed through history. It has been whispered in hospital waiting rooms, asked in the silence after a relationship ends, wondered during sleepless nights when the future suddenly seems uncertain. It is a question that has crossed every culture, every generation, and every faith. Why do bad things happen to good people? It is a fair question, perhaps the fairest of them all. After all, we naturally expect life to reward kindness, honesty, and hard work. We like to believe that if we do the right thing will happen to us. Then one day, life surprises us. The generous person loses their job, the faithful friend is betrayed. A business fails despite years of dedication. A carefully planned future disappears overnight. And we find ourselves asking, how could this happen? Now, I must begin by saying something very important. Florence Scovel Shinn never suggested that suffering should be ignored or explained away with cheerful sayings. She never encouraged people to pretend that disappointment was delightful or that heartbreak was somehow easy. Pain is real. Grief is real. Disappointment is real. If you have experienced any of these, your feelings are entirely human. But Florence did offer another way of looking at life's unexpected twists. It is a perspective that has brought comfort to readers for well over a century, and perhaps it may bring a little comfort to you today. You see, Florence believed that human beings suffer from one rather remarkable limitation. We can only see today. Life, however, appears to be working on tomorrow. That changes everything. Imagine opening a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle and finding one small blue piece lying on the table. If I asked you what picture it belonged to, you couldn't possibly know. It might belong to the sea, the sky, a bluebird, a child's jumper. One tiny piece tells you almost nothing, yet many of us judge our entire lives from one single piece. One disappointing week, one difficult year, one painful event, and we quietly conclude, this is how my story ends. Florence would smile gently and remind us that we are looking at one piece of a much larger picture. Of course, this is easier to understand after the event than during it. When life feels uncertain, philosophy can seem rather unhelpful. If you've just lost your job, hearing someone say, everything will work out, can make you wonder whether they'd like to swap places with you. It's rather like offering an umbrella after the rain has stopped. Comforting, perhaps, but not entirely practical. Florence was always practical. She believed that faith was not pretending everything was perfect. Faith was expecting that good could still emerge, even when you couldn't yet imagine how. That is a very different idea. Now let me tell you about a gentleman I once imagined meeting in modern-day New York. He was standing outside an office building, holding a cardboard box containing the contents of his desk, his coffee mug, a framed photograph of his family, several pens he had somehow accumulated over 15 years, and, for reasons known only to office workers, 3 chargers for phones he no longer owned. He had just been made redundant. His shoulders were slumped. His confidence had vanished. As I approached, he looked at me with the sort of expression one wears after receiving news they never expected. I don't understand, he sighed. I worked hard. I arrived early. I stayed late. I helped everyone. Why me? It is a question many of us have asked in one form or another. I smiled, not because I found his situation amusing, far from it, but because I recognized the question. It has been asked by kings and laborers, teachers and shopkeepers, young people just beginning life, and older people who believed they had everything finally figured out. My dear, I said gently, what if this is not the end of the story? He gave me a puzzled look. It certainly feels like it. Of course it does, I replied. If you stopped reading a novel halfway through, you might believe the hero had failed forever. He frowned. But life isn't a novel. No, I said. It is rather more interesting. You see, one of Florence's greatest teachings was that appearances are often deceptive. The closed door we can see may be preventing us from walking into the wrong room. Now, before you accuse me of turning unemployment into a fairy tale, let me reassure you, losing your livelihood is deeply unsettling. Bills do not disappear simply because someone tells you to remain optimistic. The rent still arrives. The mortgage still needs to be paid. The supermarket has never accepted positive affirmations instead of money. If only it did. Imagine reaching the checkout and saying, I affirm divine abundance. I suspect they would politely direct you back to aisle 7. Florence would never have advised anyone to ignore practical responsibilities. She encouraged faith, certainly, but she also encouraged wisdom, courage, and action. Yet she understood something that many people discover only in hindsight. Some endings quietly become beginnings. Not immediately, not magically, but gradually. A few years ago, I heard someone describe the worst day of his professional life. He had been dismissed from a job he genuinely loved. He was angry, embarrassed, convinced his career was over. For weeks, He could think of little else. Then something unexpected happened. Unable to find another position, he decided to start a small business from his spare bedroom. He had never intended to become self-employed. In fact, he thought it sounded far too risky. Today, that little business employs dozens of people and earns him far more than he ever imagined possible. When asked what changed his life, he smiled and said something rather surprising: getting fired. Now notice something. When he carried his belongings out of that office, he did not feel fortunate. He felt defeated. The blessing was invisible. It only became visible when he looked backwards. Life has an extraordinary habit of making sense in reverse. Florence understood this long before psychologists began speaking about resilience and post-traumatic growth. She knew that what appears to be an interruption may sometimes be a redirection. Not always, but often enough that we should hesitate before declaring any chapter to be the final one. And that brings us to an important question. If we cannot always understand what life is doing, how do we keep our faith while we are still living through the unanswered chapter? So how do we keep our faith when life appears to be taking us in the wrong direction? Florence would probably begin with a simple observation. We are wonderfully impatient creatures. If something good happens, we call it a blessing. If something unpleasant happens, we often call it a disaster before the day is over. The trouble is, life rarely reveals its plans quite so quickly. I once imagined a young lady who had prepared carefully for a job interview. She had practiced her answers, bought a new outfit, and arrived at the station with plenty of time to spare. Then her train was canceled. Another was delayed. By the time she reached the interview, the position had been offered to someone else. She was devastated. "I knew today would go wrong," she muttered. Perhaps. Or perhaps she simply believed the story before the final page had been written. A few weeks later, she accepted another position with a different company. It paid more, offered flexible working hours, and introduced her to colleagues who became lifelong friends. Years later, she laughed about the interview she never had. Not because it wasn't disappointing at the time, but because she could finally see where the detour had led. That is often how life works. Not every delay is a denial. Sometimes it is simply a change of direction. Florence encouraged people to stop arguing with every closed door and begin asking a different question. What wonderful opportunity is making its way towards me? That question changes your state of mind. Instead of staring at the door that has just closed, you begin looking for the one quietly opening nearby. Of course, there are moments when no explanation appears. Some questions remain unanswered for years, some perhaps forever. In those moments, Florence never suggested inventing reasons. She suggested holding on to faith. Faith that life is still moving. Faith that today's circumstances are temporary. Faith that good can emerge even when you cannot yet imagine what it looks like. As she often reminded her readers, your spoken word carries great power. So instead of declaring, "Everything is going wrong," try saying, "Divine order is now established in my life, and the right outcome will reveal itself at the perfect time." Those words do not change the past, but they may change the way you walk into tomorrow. Before we finish, I would like to leave you with one final thought. There is a great difference between giving up and letting go. Giving up says, "Nothing good can happen." Letting go says, "I cannot see the whole picture yet, but I trust that life is still unfolding." Florence chose the second path. She believed that fear causes us to cling desperately to what is familiar, while faith allows us to move forward with quiet confidence, even when the destination is hidden. Think back over your own life for a moment. Is there something that once felt like a terrible disappointment, but eventually led to something better? Perhaps a relationship that ended, a job you didn't get, a move you never wanted to make, a chance encounter that happened only because your original plans fell apart. Many of life's greatest blessings arrive wearing rather convincing disguises. That doesn't mean every painful experience has an obvious explanation, nor should we pretend that every hardship is easy to understand. Some wounds take time to heal. Some questions remain unanswered. But Florence would gently remind us that we always have a choice. We can allow today's disappointment to become tomorrow's identity, or we can quietly affirm that life is still working on our behalf. When you find yourself asking, Why is this happening to me? Perhaps try asking a different question. What good might still come from this? That simple shift won't erase your difficulties overnight, but it may open your mind to possibilities you would otherwise have missed. As Florence beautifully wrote, every adversity is a blessing in disguise. Perhaps the disguise is simply so convincing that we fail to recognize the blessing until much later. So, if life has recently closed a door, don't lose heart. Another may already be opening. You just haven't reached it yet. If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Has there ever been a time when what seemed like your worst day eventually became the beginning of something wonderful? Share your story in the comments below. It may be exactly the encouragement someone else needs today. And if you enjoy exploring the timeless wisdom of Florence Scovel Shinn, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so we can continue discovering how her teachings can bring more peace, confidence, and joy into our modern lives. Until next time, thank you for watching, and may life pleasantly surprise you.